price.
Monday morning feels so bad.
Coming Tuesday, I feel better.
Do the 5-day grind once more. Wednesday just won't go. Thursday goes too slow.
I've got Friday on my mind.
Gotta have fun in the city. It's Friday night, the night for footy. Gotta hit the highs. They play it high and fast for me. Bring up the lights. I can't ignite. Got to watch tonight. All week I've got Friday on my mind.
Tonight from Sydney's Football Stadium, the Sydney Roosters host the born-again Bulldogs. Friday night football, right here on the one and only Wide World of Sports.
It's been less than a solid start for the Canterbury Bulldogs, although they did something about it here last Friday night with a 24-0 win over the St George Illawarra club. Strong team again, even allowing for those that aren't available for selection at this time of the year. Captain Courageous Darren Britt was one of the stars of last Friday night. Here's the team for tonight. Silver El Masri Smith in the centres, Talau Halligan, Corey Hughes Stewart, Glenn Hughes, Scott Price Stone, Perry Britt, and down there as the coach Stephen Folkes, the former great Bulldog player himself. The Roosters wing at full-back. I wouldn't be surprised if he switches around a little bit tonight. Hegarty, Barnett, Cross, Miles, Fittler, Lamb, Ricketson, Fitzgibbon, Fletcher. In fine form, Logan, Bonetti, Cusack, and coached by Graham Murray. Brian Fletcher, one of the in-form players for the Roosters, and so too Brad Fittler, but they need to be 2 from 3, but they haven't been all that impressive. Check the weather conditions with Andrew on the sideline. Good evening to you.
Yes, good evening, Ray. And first up, 25 degrees. A little humid tonight. No great advantage with a breeze for either side in this first 40 minutes. It probably sounds strange to be critical of a side's defence when they held their opponent scoreless last week, but the Bulldogs still worry me. 28 missed tackles against the Dragons. Their line was broken a dozen times. If they return those sort of stats tonight against the Roosters, I think it'll be a Sydney victory.
Bill Harrigan in charge. Feature match of the round 4. So sit back on the Wide World of Sports with us on the 9 Network and enjoy the Roosters running right to left against the Dogs. 1935 Canterbury joined the league, and since that time the closeness of results and the overall scoreboard involving these two clubs is quite incredible. 68 to 62 in favour of the Roosters since they first came together back in the middle 30s. And a quick exchange of hands sees Glenn Hughes brought down just inside the 30-metre line. And it's Willie Talau who makes a run to nearly the 40-metre line. Stewart dropping in over on the left for the kick inside the 40. Not a deep kick from Stewart, but that's a knock-on. It's a knock-on on the far wing on the right side for Hegarty.
Yeah, Shannon Hegarty knocking the football on from that pretty ordinary kick from Ricky Stewart. He didn't hit it well. Corey Hughes received attention at the other end of the field while this kick was being taken. He was hurt when they went wide early in the tackle count, the Bulldogs.
Hold there. Seconds and locks really
Comes back into position. A nice field position for the Blue and Whites.
Big contingent of Bulldog supporters here tonight. As Talau is put away, 35 away from the Roosters line. Corey Hughes running into one of the markers. He almost brought a penalty too. I personally didn't think the markers were standing directly in front of the play the ball. Such wasn't the case as far as Bill Harrigan was concerned. And they go on the left of the ground for Stewart, and then a run-around dummy for Stewart. They come back down the middle with Corey Hughes and his brother Glenn working. Corey playing it. And then from Perry, who's back on the side tonight. Polamauta's still on the bench. He'll be used as an acting half often. He played well there last Friday. Now a pass out in front of Ricky Stewart. He dances around Bonetti. Gets a kick in. They're going to obviously try and apply as much pressure as they can on Ricky Stewart. Brad Fittler made the point today that if we let him have time and he gets on top of us with his kicking game, we are in for a hard night.
And Coach Graham Murray obviously has some of the Roosters chasing hard on Stewart. And on that occasion, Simon Bonetti was the man who forced a pretty ordinary kick.
Peter Cusack on the 30-metre line now, with the Roosters now using Fitzgibbon down the left side. Western side of the ground and inside their 40-metre line, and Lambert was putting it through the hands and out to the other front row forward. Logan, no Pongia, and still no Singh, no Elsgood. Just three of the names missing from the Sydney City side, the Rooster side. Silver now, man of the match here last Friday, sponsored by McDonald's. $1,000 there every Friday night for the NRL Player of the Night.
And a former East player as well. 7.5 years with the East team, left in mid-95. Such a long time ago. What a job he's done for the Bulldogs in those last 4 years.
Darren Britt now. Down the left side for Kalau. Which way did you forecast this match, Paul?
I thought the Roosters in a tight one, Ray, they've got plenty of speed, and I think they'll try and get on the outside of the Canterbury side tonight, the Bulldogs. And Brad Fittler last night told me that Adrian Lamb's really come back into form the last week. That he played an excellent game against the North Queensland side, and he's back to his best in the state now by the Bulldogs.
This will see a scrum go down.
Over there,
Well, no, it's the turnover, in fact. The pass from Stewart was ordinary by his standards. So a real chance now for the Roosters. First tackle 43 metres out centre ground. Bonetti on the left now for Fittler. Drifting across, throwing a dummy on the inside for Fitzgibbon. Western side, 20 metres in. Cusack. We've got some good young front rowers. Logan, Cusack, Hood, to mention the three. And here's Fletcher losing it. And the Dogs come up with it as Britt rather lethargically picked it up and gave it back to Rod Silver, who's put down 25 away from his own line now. So the Dogs with Hazim El Masri coming away. Completion rates 1 in 3 at the moment for the Roosters, and about the same percentage for the Dogs. Early days. They're just outside the 40-metre line, and the 12 is Dennis Scott in the run-on side tonight. Stephen Price alongside him. Made a remarkable recovery from an injury here. Here's a short kick from Stewart. The bounce should favour them. It does. Corey Hughes. Well done. Then not tackled. Then got it away. Price was there. Now Talau. Talau goes back in. He'll score. Talau's over for the Doggies. Well, chip and chase. Stewart with a little chip. Corey Hughes was there first. Fell to the ground. Wasn't held. Realised he had to get up and do something, otherwise it would be a voluntary tackle, and then it all turned out to be so easy.
Yeah, great work from Ricky Shields. He frees it there. Look at the space. The fullback out of shot. And as play continues, Corey Hughes knew it was coming. It was a planned move. As Ray pointed out, he did very, very well. If he had thrown it to Silver, he'd have been smashed. He waited for Stephen Price. Price relayed the ball on to Willie Talau. Plenty of cover coming across, but they all seemed to lay off Willie Talau.
He was a long way back, wasn't he, Craig Wing? And that's the great kicking game that Ricky Stewart has. He forces fullbacks to go back. A great pick-up and a chance there to get Corey Hughes again. And great hands from Stephen Price. He knew he just had to grab it and pass it. And 3 or 4 of the Roosters there, but not good enough. Talau's in.
I think Corey Hughes played the best game I've seen him play in first grade last week. And he's started the game off very well tonight. He got an early knock, but he's had 3 or 4 carries. That time he knew exactly what was coming from his number 7. Price did well again. Always on the ball, Stephen Price. And Willie Talau, He shaped the pass. Adrian Lamb overran him. He was hoping that somebody was coming across on the inside. It was Craig Wing, but too late to stop the try.
One of 6 internationals in the Dogs side tonight, Willie Talau.
Some early mistakes in this game, isn't there, Ray? But both sides showing a willingness to throw the football around, so it augurs well for the next 70 minutes.
Now, Daryl Halligan's got this kick to go to number 3 spot on the all-time point scorers list in front of the great Rabbitoh, Eric Sims. Here comes the kick, and it's there. Halligan goes to number 3 behind Cronin and Eadie. 6-0 the Dogs over the Roosters. 7 minutes gone. We will take a break and be back with more on the Wide World of Sports. As we welcome you back, it's the Bulldogs 6, a converted try for Willie Talau by Daryl Halligan. The Dogs 6, the Roosters yet to score. Some mighty fine players in front now of Daryl Halligan. Of course, Eric Sims was one of them, but now Michael Cronin and Graham Eadie are the only 2 remaining in front of probably the best kicker we've seen in the game. Talking about kicking in general play, there's none better than this man, Ricky Stewart. Fielded back there by Hegarty. Robert Miles in from the left wing, and then driven back in the defence of the Dogs. Out comes the ball. It'll be a penalty, I think.
Got to pass it, scrum.
No, he's ruled that he lost it. Tried to pass it, I think he said.
I mean, where was the Roosters' help there for Robert Miles being forced back? No one's rushing in to help at all. Craig Wing gets knocked out of the way. No forwards there. He tried to pass it. I'm just wondering, though, if Troy Stone knocked that on.
Stewart now almost going all the way. Corey Hughes. And away from his brother for Talau. Here's El Masri. Beautiful tackle by Miles. Player, ball, everything over the sideline.
Oh, what a good tackle. A try saver there. It's one-on-one, winger against winger. And there's been some great tests over the years. This is another good one. He had some space, El Masri, and Miles knew it. And he cut him down nicely.
There we saw 2 try-saving tackles in that set of 6 from the Bulldogs. That one on screen now from Robert Miles was a beauty. Craig Fitzgibbon breaking from the scrum to deny Ricky Stewart. That's Richie Barnett taking the ball off the scrum win, 11 out from his own line.
Oh, that's a good tackle. That is heavy from Price on Ricketson. Right under the ribcage and driving. Now Fletcher. The 25-year-old from Paddington Colts, and he loses the ball. Not he, but one of his teammates, Logan. Back on the offensive now. Canterbury with Stowe. Britt now to the 10-metre line, almost. Centre of the park. Again, beautifully presented the Sydney Football Stadium. Onto the eastern side. Stewart on the inside for Price, and then a hand back to Stewart. Long ball across, picking up Stone, who started all of this. Short ball away for Silver. Quick hands then. Darren Smith out wide. Pulled down. Now, did he lose it? Yes, he did.
Lost it.
Bill Halligan ruling that he lost it.
Yeah, Simon Benetti coming over the top, forcing the ball out. Line ball decision, this one, as to whether the player was held before Benetti got involved. But there did seem to be some momentum still in the tackle. But you've got to say, early on in this game, the Bulldogs out-muscling their opponents. Intimidating in defence.
Well, this is what they did to St George Illawarra, really. They were relentless with their defence. They were typical of a Canterbury side. Cross. Ricketson. Hughes, the lock in 13, one of the tacklers with Price. Now back to the middle. Oh, another good tackle. They lose it again. Well, they're paying scant respect for possession on their own end of the ground. And the Dogs lose it. And it'll be the advantage to the Roosters. Well, they're making their grave, but they're digging very well. They've clawed their way back from adversity. crowd, realising there's plenty of mistakes, are still loving the excitement of it. 6-0 the Dogs. He's lost it. Price scoops it quickly for Stone.
Well, it's great defence, isn't it? But really, poor ball security. Both the props have lost it the last 3 times they've had it.
Price. Fittler made the point about the balls and how hard they are to handle, particularly at this time of the year. And that seems to be very much the fore tonight, unless it is all to do with the defence. There's been a couple of bone jarrers out there, though.
Yeah, mark me down for the defence, Ray.
Okay.
2 from 8 there for the Roosters. 25% ball control. Is good tackle on Scotty. Still gets a pass away and a fine one to Stewart.
Britt down the centre. That was the pass he didn't have to throw. Had his back to the opposition and paid the penalty. Andrew, sideline.
Ray, I'm on the hunt for suspects for the reason for this poor handling. I can confirm that the Bulldogs ball boy in front of me has got no Vaseline in his pocket, so he's in the clear.
Thank you, Inspector.
There, the leg.
Penalty to the Roosters.
Brian.
13 minutes gone. Changing of the guard. Cusack off.
Barry Ward in 17 coming on for the Bulldogs as Craig Wing finds touch. 38 out from the Bulldogs line. The Tricolours attempt to get down in the attacking area for the first time in this match. Strong defence again, this time on Reuben.
9 times they've played at the Sydney Football Stadium. And it's 6-3 in favour of the Dogs. Logan, clean break. Supported by Fittler. Bonetti. Wings up in the half-back position. Lamb got it off for Ricketson.
And Price in trouble for the Bulldogs. He's out of the defensive line, getting attention.
They go the blind side. Wing again. Hegarty. Lamb. Fletcher. That might have gone forward. It has. Harrigan dead in line with it.
Oh, he's a great player, Brian Fletcher. Played for New South Wales and Australia last season. I reckon he'll do the same this year. More often than not, gets through the first line, gets his hands free, looking for some support. It came a fraction too late. And he was forced to pass the ball forward. He's a danger man. Stephen Price just limping out of the back play now.
And you would imagine that may well be the hip problem that sustained last week, forcing him out of the game. The interchange coming thick and fast with David Thompson, who was great for the Bulldogs last week. Called upon to do the same.
So the Dogs coming off their own line down the eastern side of the Sydney Football Stadium, leading 6-0. Try for Willie Talau at the 6th minute was converted by Darryl Halligan. Barry Ward now. Perry. Britt. Ooh, gee, that was a hard pass. Well taken by Glenn Hughes. Stewart. And Wing. Quite a distance to travel. Hegarty beats him to it. And Stewart is down there to make the tackle. He did that last week a couple of times, Stewart. He goes straight down the centre of the park to put everybody on side. And in so doing, he's been there, the first tackler, a couple of times in the last fortnight. Played by Richie Barnett now. They go back to the middle for Reuben now. Former Rabbitoh. And now with Lamb. He kicks inside, just outside the 40-metre line, and a diving take by Halligan.
Too good, the Rock. He's everywhere and saved it again there. There's a chance for the Roosters.
He's not the fastest player that plays wing football in rugby league, but he's got a great football brain and great anticipation, hasn't he?
And you would count the amount of mistakes he makes in a season on one hand, Ray.
That is Scott on the edge of a shoulder charge. Stewart looked as though he might have kicked and then went to the alternative kicker. It is Glenn Hughes. Sing on his own, not Sing, but Wing on his own 40-metre line. There's another very talented footballer that's out at the moment. Of course, the Dogs have got their own problems, Hetherington and Clyde. Ruben. Oh, gee, that's a good tackle. Barry Ward launched himself at him. Fletcher. Good work. Wing. Away from Stewart. And put down eventually by Polomata, who's on. Lamb got a pass away, and Ricketson will play it. Oh, gee, Adrian Lamb's in trouble. Polomata got him a tad late. Fittler rolls it in. Silver takes it away. I was watching Polomata. He's trying to make back-to-back tackles, and he had Lamb in his sights. Maybe he couldn't pull out of it. Lamb's up and seems okay. Here he is.
He cops a heavy knock here after he throws the football from over the top. But he's starting to look dangerous, running to the line. Ricky Stewart just threw a nice one there. But Lamb's starting to run to the line. Only a matter of time before he dummies 14. And tries to get through himself.
14.
And, the touch is on. He's seen Polomouta's late tackle.
Even though Adrian Lamb was going down, the arm was still swung around and collected him straight across the neck and the side of the head region.
Okay.
And recommended it was over here.
All right. Okay. What do you got?
Yeah, this should obviously be a penalty to the Roosters, and you would imagine that they would take a kick for goal. Polomata ruled to have come across late and possibly high.
Well, it's no use me disagreeing with it, because that's pretty much what I said. I saw out the corner of the eye. I'm looking at the point of contact. It might have bounced up off the shoulder. It was a tad late, and as far as I can see, it's also high. It's brought a penalty. Lamb is back on his feet. He didn't dilly-dally. He got back up. What's the story on Steve Price, Andrew?
Ray, he's still in the dressing room at the moment, but the Bulldogs doctor does expect Stephen Price will make a return to this match, and the suspicions of Peter Sterling were right. It is the same injury as last week, a problem with his hip.
He was telling us last Saturday night that he basically lost all feeling from the hip down. I guess a similar feeling to having a dislocated hip. I'm not sure, but he said the recovery he made during the Saturday was quite incredible. Fitzgibbon now with a shot. And he should get this one, the former St George Illawarra player. There she goes. Flags are up. First points on the board for the Roosters. It is 6-2 in favour of the Bulldogs. 19 minutes gone on Friday night National Rugby League. Welcome back. It's 6-2 in favour of the Dogs. And Steve Price is back from the sheds. He's back and seems to be getting some feeling back on the right side. So the forecast from the doctors would seem right that Stephen Price will come back for the Dogs tonight. He was injured very early on last week. Remember, he put a charge down on that led to a try, and then he was injured shortly after that. Tonight he made the 15-minute mark before aggravating the injury, but he's back to the benches anyway. Ricketson. Wing, very, very fast. Beyond the 40. Gee, scored a bottler of a try here in the red and green colours against Cronulla last year. Real will-o'-the-wisp. I don't think Ian Rubin will ever aspire to such speed. Fletcher with the arms up in the air looking to unload. I notice that Solomona is on. Captain the New Zealand under-18s a few years back now. Fittler on the inside of a Lamb pass, away from Stewart, steps inside Silver, got the ball to Ricketson, Ricketson to Miles, Miles gets the pass away, Barnett, did he ground it? Did he ground it? That's the question.
Well, I tell you what, it's good work from, I think, El Masri picking the ball up and racing off. putting the impression in the referee's mind that no, he didn't get the ball down. I'm not quite sure whether Richie Barnett thinks he did either.
It was a great bust, wasn't it, from Brad Fittler? He's juggling. He's got it, he hasn't. He's going down. Could be okay. No. Not okay.
Well, that was just incredible what Robert Miles was able to do. That shot's not going to help Graham West. This one will, hopefully. I don't think there's any downward pressure on it.
There is no doubt that it was a no try, Ray. Red light for sure and certain, although you've got to say the movement just about deserved the try.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? Because Fittler did say, well, nice inside ball it was. The support came. The funny thing, when Luke Ricketson got the ball, he propped and stopped, but there was no one in front of him. And then in the end, it all broke down for them.
On the line, fellas, hold to his tackle.
The Dogs surviving another life. 3-1 the breaks against them. It's twice now the Roosters have opened them right up. Had a big look into the kennel, didn't they? Britt. Rehearse play. Razzle-dazzle, Silva and El Masri now on the end of it. He's on the end of something else too. Benetti over the top and Fitzgibbon underneath.
A bad pass to Troy Stone, down around his bootlaces. The Roosters again getting possession at the right end as Ricketson takes a Fittler pass, tackled 28 out.
Get the feeling one's coming. Lamb. Reuben. Big lump of a boy. Now Solomona, got to be watched. He can unload. There it is. Lamb. They're starting to break up the Dogs. They're letting them through the gaps. Fittler away from another one that fell off. Fletcher's going down. 11 out. There they are in front of the sticks. Now Lamb holding it back for Solomona. Bumps away from one, gets it round the corner for another. Fitzgibbon. El Masri held the ball against the midriff. Last tackle. Can they survive another one? Lamb rolls it in. They're going to get 6 more. I don't know they can survive another set.
Yeah, nice attacking play there from the Roosters. And Lamb's really controlling things nicely. Rod Silver's talking to his players, geeing them up. I'll tell you what, for a big man, Solomona's got a nice little step, hasn't he, for a prop forward. So let's give the Bulldogs defence credit once again. They held St George Illawarra scoreless last week.
They've got to give El Masri a rap again there as well. As Ray pointed out, he held the ball in. There was a 2-man overlap for the Roosters. He stopped the pass being thrown. Pretty slow restart here from the Blue and Whites. They're not in any hurry to do some more defence.
Bulldogs leading 6-2. Roosters have only beaten them 3 times in the last decade. The statistics, I know they don't mean very much, but they are weighted heavily towards the Blue and Whites. Missed tackles very high against the Dogs after the last few minutes of play. Fitzgibbon, western side, 10 in. Through to Fittler. Way now to Lamb. These are long passes, and one has gone to ground, and Harrigan said play on. Inside the 30-metre line, Matt Wood is on. Lamb to Hegarty, and he puts it down again. That will not be doing the youngsters' confidence any good, Shannon Hegarty. Already it was damaged early in the game.
Yeah, and his confidence coming into this match would have been sky high. 4 tries next to his name. 3 matches as Hughes, Glenn about to come back into the game. The handling from both teams leaving plenty to be desired. In fact, they just about cancel each other out. Something like a 50% completion rate. So both self-destructing to some degree as the Bulldogs win the scrum.
Sherwin is on. A star from last Friday. Perry. Now Perry and Polamander are both on there. Just watching Perry, he didn't mind having a run with the ball. Silver now, dummy half. 16 is Thompson. Picked up a try against the red and whites. Stewart making Craig Wing work across the ground, gives them time to get a line down there, and then they operate. 15 away from their own line. So it's a more comfortable zone now for the Bulldogs. They've been hanging though, haven't they, by the skin of their teeth. Solomona, you could be anything. From what I've seen of you, and haven't seen much, you could be anything. Fletcher, forward pass, fractionally. Came off the boot of El Masri, into the midriff of Solomona, and it's pretty big. I did think there was a little forward pass from Brian Fletcher there. Not enough to argue about. Miles, 32 out. They're falling back into the pit again, the Dogs. 6-2 though, the board in their favour. Wing, evasive. Wood normally plays in a headgear. Ricketson now! 10-metre line. Can the Dogs recover? Ryan Cross for the line. He's over, held up in goal. It'll be a scrum. And the advantage will swing again to the Roosters.
Fingernails, Ray. They are hanging on by their fingernails. Ryan Cross did a great job here. He trailed one of the defenders going back. Got in behind, I think it's Thompson. Rod Silver finally worked him out, got him head on, and some support came to help.
There's a few hands on hippers in the Bulldogs team too. They are just hanging on as they get ready for this scrum. A great effort there by Cross.
About Nat Wood, smallest man on the field, rush through two as
Ricketson himself down the left of the scrum.
Big
Wood.
numbers left, Ray, if they can get it out wide.
Fletcher. So they're coming that way. Oh, he's hit him on the head. It's a Falcon. Now El Masri's away. Look at Wing. Sprouting wings. He brushes him away. El Masri's tackled. 40 away from the line.
What a wonderful game of rugby league.
Now Silver. Talau. Solomona's chasing. So is Hegarty. But Talau is down. He loses the ball.
It's got everything, this.
From one end of the ground to the other.
What about the effort of Solomona? And also, I think it was Hegarty over there.
It was.
He was going to score Talau.
Well, Brad Fittler was desperate to get this ball out wide, and yes, it's another Falcon as El Masri was sneaking up out wide. He saw the danger unfolding. Wing blindsided him, forced him to stumble. Then the Dogs kept it going to the left. It got into Talau's hand. Paul pointed out, what about the big back row coming across, forcing me out wide?
What he didn't give up. He just trailed back on the inside, looking for a sniff of a tackle, and he made it. Beautiful stuff there.
Cross. 12 out from their own line. The trainers are working overtime. Fitzgibbon banged into the ground. Now Barnett. Beating Ward, beating Hughes, taking a third, and Bill Halligan has found a knock on. Well, the Dogs, they needed it. They couldn't have withstood another attacking raid. 6-2. At the 6th minute, they scored a converted try.
Well, Richie Barnett gave his winger no chance of catching that one. And this will be something if the Bulldogs can be the next try scorer, because the Roosters looked odds on to be the team to put it over the line as they go wide. Darren Smith tackled centre field, first tackle.
Silver is looming on the right of the ground. They're working towards him. Glenn Hughes looking to keep the arms free for Silver down the right side. Talau, there it comes, down to Sydney Roosters. Fittler. They're both throwing it around as though the full-time siren is about 5 minutes away. Instead, we are 10 minutes from the half-time break. Fletcher pulled down by the scruff of the neck. Ricketson on his own 30. Thompson clinging on like a leech and then getting penalised for clinging on too long.
Well, at some stage tonight, Ray, Brian Fletcher is going to either score a try or set one up, because he is causing problems for the defence every time he touches the football. As the defence starts to get a little bit of the sting out of it, he's the man who'll take advantage.
Well, here they come. In fight terms, they've been on the ropes and taking a pummeling. Now they've got out of it again. He sent the Roosters back to a neutral corner one more time. And Britt comes down the short side, western side of the football stadium. Corey, here's Barry Ward. Sherwin, 37 away. Corey again. Corey to the 20-metre line. The youngsters playing well. Now Polomata. He puts it high. Plenty of time for the chase. Up they go. Oh, they're over. They're in to score. The number 15, Sherwin. He's about as tall as Shane Dye. He's come down with it and put it over the line. Now Harrigan wants to look at it.
I guess he's looking for onside, Ray, just to make sure that the try scorer Sherwin was behind. Yeah, he was the kicker. He was taken out after the kick. The touch is on again.
It's not your team. It's not your team.
I don't think the try's been awarded, but I don't know whether it's called for the video ref as yet.
On a report on 17 East.
I thought he called for the screen. He didn't? Okay.
Well, it may well be just a drama concerning the Roosters tackle on Polomata. But if that was the case, I would have thought he would have just awarded the try.
Kicked the ball, Canterbury player kicked the ball. This player came in too late. Should have pulled out, had plenty of time to pull out of the tackle.
Yep.
I didn't see the contact, but it certainly looked high enough to me to put on report or have a look at.
Okay. You heard the tackle may have been too high. I'm going to place that tackle on report. I'm going to award the try. Tackle's on report. Here, mate.
Okay. Try awarded.
Well, let's keep an eye on Polomata, see exactly what happens.
He's placed the tackle on report. The ball taken out of the arms of Craig Wing by Brent Sherwin. Let's just pick up the man who is placed on report. I think it's Lomu, which would just about be his first involvement in this game. Fairly auspicious start.
The tackle is late, but it's not high. It's a shoulder charge that is late. And the touch judge basically gave himself up anyway when he said, I didn't see the point of contact, but it looked high. They were his words, but there's no drama there for the Sydney Roosters player. It's converted. The Sherwin try is converted. Well, it's a crazy game, isn't it? They've been under siege. Treatment there for Polomata. 12-2 the Dogs, 31 minutes gone.
Saturday night.
Welcome back. Those of you that have been in a break on the 9 network around Australia. 12-2. The Bulldogs over the Sydney Roosters. But though they lead by 10, if you've backed the red, white and blues, you certainly wouldn't be tearing up your ticket. Let's have a quick look at that tackle on this man, Polomata, at the other end of the park leading to the try. The point of contact is interesting. Yeah, the shoulder probably has picked him up high. There's no hint of an elbow or a high forearm, stiff arm, none of that. It's the point of the shoulder. Has definitely contacted the chin area, the jaw area of Polomata. Now that's gone out on the full. Andrew Voss come in on the sideline.
Well, first up on Craig Polomata, the Bulldogs doctor has cleared him of any facial injury. What an examination this is for Craig Wing since round 2 when he had a shocker against the Sharks on a wet and windy night. I noticed after that try was scored, Ray, a lot of the Roosters went around to rally and give him a pat on the back, try and keep his chin up, but coming back to the halfway mark for the restart of play, the head was very down.
You mentioned the Sharks. We've got them tomorrow night in what should be a splendid game of rugby league. The Sharks versus the Broncos at Shark Park, or should I say Toyota Park, live tomorrow night at 6:30 on the 9 network here in Australia.
Now the Roosters have got to work through this set of 6. If they don't score, either put the bomb up or in the in-goal area. They must get consecutive sets as Fittler struggles on the third tackle.
Wood. Ricketts an inside ball. Back from Logan for Fittler. He was looking for a runner who didn't come. Reuben's there now, but it's gone. The Dogs have got it. That must have come off the legs of the Roosters player, because Glenn Hughes was well and truly offside if it came off one of the Dogs. Here it is. Yeah, it's come down off Lomu. And now they've got the ball back and they look like they're going for the corner. Haggerty. 5 metres from the line. Lamb. Back slam by the Dogs. They've had plenty of practice at guarding this line tonight. Fletcher. Penalty right in front. And Fletcher can't get it down. Held up in goal again. Again they'll get the loose head on the feed.
Well, he did the right thing, didn't he? He took the quick tap. A couple of the doggies had their backs turned. He went for it. In the end now, there was 3 or 4 of them there to hold him up. Here's how the mistake happened. It's a crunching tackle there from Fitzgibbon. And there's a chance for Ryan Cross to Haggerty. Clean ball there. He probably scoots over in the corner. He had to stop and reach back and take it. And then Fletcher, he went for it. He must be 15, 10, 16 stone. And the Dogs said, well, to hold him up.
To the 10. To the 10.
Let's watch
Bring
this
it up,
out
Canterbury.
now.
10.
Will they score this time? Adrian Lamb down the left side of the scrum. Matt Wood. Lomu. Young Tongan. Wood again for Fittler, and then running off his hip was Wing. Craig will play it to Ryan Cross. Fittler. Reuben. Tackles running out. The Dogs fighting to keep them away. Oh! That pass from Fittler to Lomu. Gee, it looked forward. It was a handoff. Nat Wood on tackle number 5. Fittler. It came off the Dogs and Corey Hughes. Well, he's been everywhere and everything tonight.
He played really well last week, Corey Hughes, and he's backed it up again in this first half. And some really good things. Defence has been strong. He's made a couple of breaks.
Have a look at this, Paul. What did you think?
Yes, it looked like a handful. No doubt about it, for mine.
And again, this was Fittler at the end of it. And then it came up off the instep of Corey Hughes.
Yeah, deliberately played up by Corey Hughes. He knew that Fittler was going to try and thread one through. Great defence from the Bulldogs, but absolutely no patience shown by the Sydney Roosters. Sydney Roosters, sorry, Ray.
Haggerty. Lamb. Wing. Fittler. What an interesting first half, highlighted by the Canterbury Bulldogs defence. Wing.
Should also point out, Ray, 5 penalties awarded in this game so far, and the Roosters all 5.
Fletcher has been promising. Peter said he'll either score or set one up sometime in the game. Well, if he doesn't, he'll finish up heartbroken, because he's certainly been on the edge of it. Here's another problem.
Yeah,
Touchy in.
Ryan Cross, I think you'll find he was taken out by Talau.
He came over straight. Yeah, number 4, mate.
4, shoulder. Here.
Well, basically, they've got to take the kick for touch now, because they didn't take one in front of the post only moments ago. But into the last 2 minutes of this first half.
Logan. He's had some good support in the centre tonight. Bill Harrigan from his touch judges. They've done a good job. Fletcher, Fittler, working the angle. Lamb. Oh, he for Solomona, and it's come down with stones. Darren Britt, he'll be aware of the timepiece. 15 to 8 the handling errors. The Roosters on the wrong side of that count. 40 seconds of the first half to go. I know it's had plenty of mistakes and plenty of panic football, but it's been high on entertainment. You can normally tell when it's been entertaining. The time goes so damn quickly. We are coming up in a matter of seconds to the bell for half-time. Wing. There is talk that he may well come into the number 6 spot. And Fittler will go to the back of the scrum. Maybe not tonight, but down the track somewhere. Well, they've had a lot of chances, the Roosters. They will rue the first half. They will probably think about it. Graham Murray will have to try and get it out of their brains and say there's another 40, for which we might have a little bit more good fortune. Exhilarating first half of football. As I said, the Dogs, how they got out of it, I don't know, with this 10-point lead. They have scored twice. Chalao and Sherwin. Halligan has gone past Eric Sims to be third on the all-time point scorers list now in Premiership football. As we go to a break, it is the Dogs by 10 over the Sydney Roosters. We'll have more on the wide world of sports in just a moment.
Bring up the lights. Our game ignites. All week I've got Friday on my mind.
Returning to the Sydney Football Stadium as we welcome you back to the 9 coverage of the NRL in 2000 from the Sydney Football Stadium tonight and from Toyota Park tomorrow night. Now, there are the Mitsubishi match statistics at half-time.
Yeah, just a crazy set as well, Ray. No ball control whatsoever. Both teams, well, around the 50% mark, and that's probably giving them a wrap. Plenty of line breaks, a lot of missed tackles. The Bulldogs, their scrambling defence was their saviour. 21 up against 8. But the Roosters, when they had the ball, just dropped it continuously. And again, should also point out 6-0 the penalties in favour of the home team.
The top performers?
Yeah, the better players of both sides. Brad Fittler's been tremendous out there tonight. Good captain's knock by him. Brian Fletcher, he's fast approaching to be one of the great forwards in our game as well. And David Solomona, not out there a long time, but he saved the try with a beautiful tackle. And his offloads have been good. He's been very dangerous in attack. And for the Bulldogs, well, Masri, he came up with a try saver. He nearly scored another one when he ran 70 metres after an intercept. Corey Hughes, he's playing great football. Good confidence booster for him again tonight. And Darren Britt, the skipper, he's always there in the thick of it.
Bill Harrigan's the man with the whistle in tonight's match. If you've only just joined us, we've had 2 tries. Both scored by Canterbury. One very early and then one late in the half. The scoreboard certainly doesn't reflect the closeness of the contest. Sydney Roosters had several chances to put the ball over the line. In fact, they were on at least 3 occasions to be denied. The Dogs, their defence has been exemplary. Here's Rod Silver now on the kick return. The Roosters came from behind in round 1. I think they gave Parramatta a 12-point start at half-time. And they went over the top of them in the second half. Now they've got to do it again. And from what we saw in that first half, there's every likelihood they will. The 10 adrift of the Dogs at the moment. Stone to his own 40-metre line, which means that Stewart, I was about to say, is inside it, which he was. I thought they may have gone for an early kick. Thompson in 16. Is Price back there, Stella?
I can't see him raise. They run it on the last tackle. The Bulldogs. Chalao will have to kick. He does straight into Ryan Cross, into Hegarty's hands. He gets a pass away to Ricketson.
And a chance down the centre of the ground now for Fitzgibbon.
Well, it hasn't been a half-time break. It started off the same way as the first quarter.
Vernetti, keen to get on with it. Fletcher. Straight through to Fittler.
Fittler puts a step on, then gets support, and Craig Wing comes in from the back.
20 metres out from the line. Cross. So the Dogs immediately under pressure. Ricketson running back to the short side. Western side of the ground. Bonetti for Lamb. Lamb a cutout ball across Fletcher. The pass to ground and El Masri is on it and away with it for the Dogs. They just can't cap it off, can they? Thompson now. It's been raked out. Not according to Harrigan. He's ruled play on.
He said lost, Harrigan.
21 metres from the line. Ricketson. We've got Brad Clyde standing by. We'll go to him with Andrew in a moment. Cusack. Is it now? Lamb. Lamb will score. Is it now? Yes, it is. Adrian Lamb is over. They have been waiting. They have been threatening. They have been promising. And finally, they have delivered.
It's been an eternity, hasn't it, waiting for the Roosters to finally get the ball over the line. The mistake was made by David Thompson. There did appear to be a hint of a rake out, but no, it was the initial contact, forcing the ball up. Good, strong hit front on. And now Adrian Lamb, he does this better than anybody in the game almost. Running across field, ball out in front, waving it away, and he just mesmerised the defence. The will of the wisp through two forwards, Grid on the outside, Thompson on the inside.
He's a specialist, isn't he, from 10 metres out? That's his big go, Adrian Lamb. He's a good player all round, but from this position, he loves to run the angles, coming from one side of the ruck to the other, with support, good support from Fletcher, who was never going to get the football, but he drew a couple of Bulldogs tacklers, and nice little passage there for Lammy.
38th try of his career, and that's his first for the year. He's been much maligned in many departments.
And what a great boost it's been for him coming back from that shoulder problem at the end of last year. There will be some doubt as to how successful the operation been, the reconstruction. Looks like there's no problems there, in for a fine season.
Fitzgibbon, 18 in from touch on the eastern side. And he gets it. Flags go up. Another look at the try. Another look at the try of Adrian Lamb early in the second half. Andrew.
Well, Ray, I can tell you from the Roosters room, Graham Murray's instructions at halftime, no panic. I know we made mistakes in the first half, but no panic. We're still in the game, and that sort of reaction tells you they are right back in it. And with the injured Bulldogs second row, Bradley Clyde, bizarre first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. There was plenty of ball movement out there, and we, probably stopped our momentum going into half-time by the looks of things.
A blow for the Bulldogs, Stephen Price. He won't be back tonight.
That's right. I think he's got a bruised hip, similar to Luke Ricketson's got.
So Jamie Feeney comes into the match, and as far as your injury goes, the calf muscle, when are you back? It's been the calf muscle injury from hell.
Yeah, that's right. I heard it in round 1, and I'll be back next week.
Thanks, Brad, for your time.
So again, an opportunity missed there.
Well, I wrapped Ryan Fletcher in the first half, but his last two passes have not found the mark. Second time it's gone to ground. He was particularly upset with Lomu for some reason. Man immediately on his shoulder. But another mistake.
12-8 the score. Four minutes into the second half, the try came for Lamb. Now the Dogs responding at the other end of the park. Salau. Lomu making the chief tackle. Stone wedging it to the centre. Perry behind Brett for Stewart. Oh dear. Thompson, or Scott it is, has gone to sleep on.
A bit of indecision there from the Bulldogs a double pump, I think it was, from Ricky Stewart. We held it up just a fraction too long, and Thompson wasn't awake virtually.
Scott, yeah, look, I can't blame him.
Sorry.
I really think Ricky Stewart made it impossible for the ball receiver. Spittler lifting his side, 28 out, carrying a couple.
Lomu did well. Wing. Doherty. Fletcher. Scott hanging on around the bootlaces. Logan. Just into the Dogs' half. The kick for Lamb. And straight down to Darryl Halligan. 12-8. 8th minute of the second half. Dogs in front. I just wonder for how long. Britt parcelled up by a very strong tackle from Logan. He's that big, he took the ball carrier, Darren Britt, and Bermetti, his own teammate. Wrapped them all up and put them away. Now it is Pollamouta. Stone. Fitzgibbon came up out of the line with a good tackle. Oh, Stewart's pass is a shocker. Handball by Silva for Talau. Ball on the ground, play on. No, what's he said? It was propelled forward at some stage.
First knock on by the Bulldogs. This will be a Rooster speed.
Decided went forward, fellas. Hit the Eastern Suburbs player and came back.
I'll tell you something. I know he gets his share of criticism. That was the ball that went forward, by the way. He has had an unblemished game, to my way of thinking, tonight, Harrigan, and by geez, he's had some tough calls. If I was marking his exam papers, he'd get 100 out of 100, but all of the tough calls. Fittler. Wing. Trainer got on the road. Lomu. Down the short side for Ryan Cross. Parcelled up by Stewart. Nat Wood. Lomu. Shaped to pass. Took them on. Lost the ball. That was a good tackle by Perry.
Yeah, he's a battleship defender, isn't he, Adam Perry? Missed the game last week. Good young player substituting for Jason Hetherington.
26 for the match, Pete. This is number 26, and it was his best.
And from your hometown, he's a Junee boy, Laurie Daly country.
He's a diesel. They used to be the steam locomotives. Now they're the diesels. Well, George Horton used to drive them.
One of the great train drivers of the modern era, George.
Well, he knew his way. Now Britt. Back for Perry. And across for Stone.
Should get on the track. There's probably no way you get though.
12-8 the Dogs. Lomu. Greetings from Tonga. Might well be the caption. Chance. Fletcher. 15 from the line. All hands on deck for the Bulldogs. Barnett. They've got some form of a line. The left doesn't look real good though. Lamb, dummies, goes that way. Logan. Still the left is light on. Cusack. 5 Dogs and 6 Roosters on that side where they are. Fettler rails it in. El Masri will beat them. Didn't have to. It's coming out to the 20.
Yeah, he was unlucky with that charge down, Brian Fletcher. Fittler, this is the end of it. Too well weighted. Ooh, it was a near thing, wasn't it? Actually grounded on the line. Dead ball line, which is no try. This was, he charges it down, and now he's looking for the nice bounce, and he just can't get one. until it's too late and they nabbed him.
Penalty to the Dogs. That's their first of the game. 52 minutes of time gone, and they get their first penalty. Now, that's a two-man tackle, is it? No, he said play. No, he's got the arm up. It's a penalty.
Tell you what, he was going to let that play on, Bill Harrigan, but then Phil Cooley, the veteran touch judge on this side, he's had a word in his ear, and the right decision is finally made.
Stewart to the eastern touchline.
On the white line, right?
Follow Mount.
Back it up.
Stone. Good run by Troy. Colomouta now puts a bit of zing into it. Ward. Bustling Barry. Stewart. Runners everywhere. Salau. Bulldog support group behind the try line that they're running towards now. Loud in their support. Colomouta up. Corey Hughes is over. I don't think he got it down. I don't think he got it down.
Oh, look, I haven't seen the ball go now.
Well, the touch, he said, I can't help you, Bill. And Bill Harrigan, as you would have heard, said, I didn't see the ball go down. So straight to the video ref for the grounding of the ball. Also something about in touch. I don't think that's a problem. Ryan Cross coming across to try and deny Corey Hughes. It's a try.
Is Ryan Cross's arm under it, Peter, or is that Corey Hughes?
Well, his ball might, the arm might be there, but I reckon the point of the ball finds the ground.
Well, I was of the opinion that Cross was able to hold him up or make it terribly uncomfortable for him, and I'm wrong. Try given to this young kid who's had two tremendous weeks of football. 16-8 the Dogs. Corey Hughes a try.
Yeah, hasn't he what? The numbers were there for the Bulldogs. Made it half of the defence, but a poor missed tackle out there on the wing, and Corey Hughes' determination. He's really found something the last couple of weeks. He copped a bit of stick on the internet with the Canterbury Bulldogs on the emails and that, but he's brushed all that aside. He's just playing some real good football. Good on him.
Yeah, that should have been stopped, that try. The winger, Hegarty, comes up with a pedestrian effort. No, he's not a big man, Corey Hughes. 5 metres out, 2 defenders there. I know he had some momentum, but really it was a poor miss.
Well, Ryan Cross, that was his final appeal. He was looking to the heavens, saying, what's wrong with this arm? Doesn't it count? And I must admit that's what I thought would prevent the try, but Graham West was of the opinion that part of the football was forced with downward pressure. That's fine. 21 metres out, it's coming around. It's coming around. It's hit the bar and come back. It's hit the upright and bounced in. 18-8, 55th minute, and the Dogs extending.
7:30 mark.
With another big welcome right around the world, wherever you're watching this league telecast. In the UK, in New Zealand, across Europe, and all parts of Australia. We've got a most entertaining game. 18-8, the Dogs of Canterbury in front.
And a good set of 6 after the try. No, forget I said that. Put a line through that. It was okay up until then.
Great.
And for the Bulldogs,
Not getting off the back, he's lost it after I've called play the ball.
the 19 and the 20 both into the action now. Both replacements, Reardon and Feeney.
Yes, he apparently lost it after he had called on him to play it. This is Cross. And a penalty goes to the Roosters. He takes a quick tap. couple of those dogs had to stay out of the defence. They were inside the 10. Hegarty's pass knocked down. Play on, no nullification. Hegarty again. Feeney is on in jumper 20. Wood. Fittler. Now it's out with Fletcher. Fletcher! 19 from the line. Wood appeals for a penalty. Lamb. Oh, the numbers on the left side. Miles gets it back for Barry Ward to pick it up. Andrew on the sideline.
Well, Ray, Glenn Hughes has been ruled out of the match. That is why Steve Reardon is on. Glenn Hughes, a bit of concussion. And in the Roosters side, you'll notice the number 18 is now out there. Luke Phillips, the former Seagull, former Raider. He is in the match for Andrew Lomu.
How many times in this game? Ooh, was that high?
Yeah, Ian Rubin, I think, the offender, Ray.
Reardon in 18 shirt. Rubin attacking the neck. How many times is about to say, I haven't kept account, have the Roosters been there visiting and coming back empty-handed?
Well, there's no doubt they've got the capabilities of making up this deficit, but you've got to say that out of the whole teams in the competition, the team that you wouldn't want to give 10-point start and try to run down is the Bulldogs. You bust them and you bust them, but somehow they manage to get troops there, stop you from getting the ball over the line. They defend as though their lives depend on it. They're tough to come from behind.
Barry Ward upended by Rubin and Solomona. Don't forget that big clash tomorrow night. It's one of the season blockbusters. Replay of the 97 Super League Grand Final. Brisbane and Cronulla. Brisbane haven't beaten them since that match in 97. Brisbane have won 9 premiership matches away from home in the regular season. The Sharks have won 12 from 13, I think it is, on a Saturday night at Toyota Park tomorrow night. You'll get it live on the 9 network. Robert Miles just getting it in.
Now with Luke Phillips coming on, he's playing in the fullback spot. I think you'll find that Craig Wing's playing 5'8", and Brad Fittler has gone to lock forward for the Roosters.
Solomona. Look at this boy. Some have tried to compare him to the great Artie Beecham. That might be down the track a little bit. But he's got all the attributes. Plus a touch more speed than the big fella. Fittler.
They need a good sense of humour as well. None better than Artie.
El Masri. Silva.
Craig Fitzgibbon hurt for the Roosters after making that tackle.
Ricky. 30-metre line just in front of him. Fitzgibbon still down, is he?
And the trainer calling to the referee, Bill Harrigan, to stop play. He's a long way away from it. Stone and Cross. Double knock on, so they'll probably stop now for him.
Three-quarters of the game gone. 10 points the margin. Polamatta comes off. So there is time out for Craig Fitzgibbon to be given some attention. We'll take a break. Be back with you in a moment. The Dogs over the Roosters. Fitzgibbon off the field. Rubin. Spelt differently to a former Tiger by the name of George Rubin, was it not?
George Rubner, I think.
Rubner, wasn't it?
Played in their 69 grand final winning team. And Solomona juggles the football.
Yeah, it's spelled a lot differently.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Lamb.
Good support here, Ray.
Now Fittler. And Fletcher. Fittler to the 10. The kick is on, but Wing is not there. El Masri is.
unorthodox way of getting rid of the football there from El Masri. Nice kick from Freddie Fittler, and he had to juggle it, El Masri, and probably never had full control. Well, he did in the end and just hoiked it.
I reckon this is the first time in the match that we've had a consecutive set of 6 from either team.
You may well be right.
And Fitzgibbon just winded, so he'll come back into the game. Restart goes 43 on the fly.
Big run. Huge run. Now Bonetti to the 10-metre line, and he had Fittler on his outside and refused to go to it. Bonetti again. Now he goes to him. And Fittler's pass goes to ground off Ricketson, I think it is.
I'd like to see when the tackle was made on the receiver, the pass receiver. It's been very close. Corey Hughes making the tackle. The referee said simultaneous. Is okay.
He plays the knock on. The Dogs will have the loosened feet over there on the eastern side. The little bloke from the wing on the right side, El Masri, brings it away. That's Feeney. Thompson, is it? Now Sherwin. Nice little hesitation there before putting it out for Corey Hughes. Sherwin again. Gee, I was just thinking the opportunities have been scant, haven't they, for Darren Smith? One of the great players of the game. His involvement tonight, not through his own fault, has been so little.
And great versatility, Sean Ray in the back row last week. Shane Martini out. So he just put Darren Smith into his position and bring in a back rower.
Ryan Cross, Andrew Voss.
Well, it's just remarkable when you consider the Bulldogs' effort now over the last, 140 minutes, 80 against the Dragons and 60 here tonight. The number of times their line has been broken or half broken.
Barnett's away, Andrew. I'll come back to you. 40-metre line. Ricketson. Lamb. Takes it to ground. To stay with it. This is tackle 5. Andrew was making the point about the number of points scored against the Dogs in the first 2 weekends, and then they've come back. And we'll let him complete that in a moment. The ball to ground. It's with Cross, and that's a turnover. Yes, Andrew?
Well, that's right, Ray. The stats had them 64 missed tackles against the Panthers, and they got beaten 26-0. Now, they've probably missed 64 tackles in the last 2 weeks and had 20 line breaks against them, yet they've only conceded 1 try, so work that out.
Seems that they miss a lot of tackles in movements. They'll miss 3, 4, 5 tackles in one movement, but the vital one is made close to the line, and they do it repeatedly.
This is Thompson. Rossi's asked me to work it out. I'm still trying to spell Rubner. Smith plays it now. Stewart puts a kick and he's looking for the runners, and Lamb is there with enough time to unload. With the number 18 for Sydney City, Luke Phillips.
Jamie Feeney hurt trying to make that tackle on Luke Phillips as the Roosters take it close to the halfway line on the second tackle.
15 to go now. Fletcher, every time he touches the ball, he presents danger. Ricketson. From Bonetti across for Solomona. Look at them following. Matt Wood and Bonetti, they're all in the line, waiting for it, in the queue. Bonetti was there. Fittler got it away. It's gone behind players. Miles is with it. He comes back and away and gives it on to Ricketson, who's inside the 30-metre line. 6 more tackles. Tackle count nullified. Fittler. Logan. the best way to employ him. Get him out, let him wind those big legs up. It's Craig Wing! Craig Wing burns the turf! He burns the grass! Over he goes and puts it down! Same end of the field as the try I referred to earlier from last year. He is so fleet-footed. He is off the mark.
And what a time for it to come. Brian Fletcher's thrown some dusty ones, but as we freeze play there, you can see that these defenders, they're bamboozled by this man. He's going to hit Wing, but the inside support player, Craig Wing, Solomona, really helps. It's bad reading in defence. The third player across, I think, is Brent Sherwin. The hole opened up. There was really no reason for him to come into the man about to pass the football, and he opened the hole up.
Yeah, there aren't too many players can do what Brian Fletcher's doing right now. He can either break the line with his speed and power or with the lovely pass. On that occasion, Craig Wing just had to run to the hole. He probably could have beaten Silverback on the inside with a right foot step, but he chose to go around him.
And the conversion attempt is away. Unsuccessful for Luke Phillips, but success for Craig Wing. It's 18-12, 67 minutes gone. We'll be back with the final 13.
Jet smart.
Behind. Welcome back. National 9 coverage of Rugby League, exclusive. And this Friday night, there's Solomon. I mean, there was another little facet of the boys' game that we did mention, but we probably didn't prolong the commentary. He was there taking heat away from Craig Wing. He was there on a 90-metre chase in the first half. And here's the ball coming out of his hand, there is no doubt. So Harrigan again gets a tight call right. Whether he's got the assistance of the touch judge remains to be seen.
And I wonder...
Andy, it's Sherwin! Sherwin is away! Sherwin gets try number 2! Oh, how good is this kid? Brent Sherwin! Up they go, the blue and white army! Brent Sherwin!
Well, they must be shattered, the Roosters. They got themselves back in with some chance. They make the mistake, second tackle. And then Brent Sherwin, he throws the dummy, gets on the outside of Craig Wing, who hesitated. And Sherwin wraps this one up. I thought that they might have worked for Ricky Stewart field goal in this set of 6. Don't worry about that. Brent Sherwin, the arms out. Craig Wing stopped, had to start again, didn't have the speed. He's struggling, Craig Wing, I've got to say, in his first couple of games for the Roosters in a few different areas.
There's very poor defence there, not well read at all by any of those Roosters players in defence. In the end, Luke Phillips wasn't marking anyone after the runner came back on the inside, the decoy. The Bulldog supporters, they're up, they're loving it.
Ah, he's exciting, this kid. I thought he was close enough to the man of the match last Friday. That bloke just in front of him, Rod Silver, got it, and that's hard to argue with. We'll have another look at it after Darryl converts. And there she goes. Another 2 points just when we thought the Roosters were getting out of the cage. 24-12. Sherwin, he's 21. Former fullback, represented New South Wales Super League under-19s in 97 and played in the Bulldogs premiership-winning President's Cup side in 98. Beautiful stuff. I think the majority of people watching were thinking the Roosters would revisit Sterlo.
Well, you know, they're going to look at this game as one of missed opportunities, but that's not paying the necessary respect to their opponents tonight. The Bulldogs haven't been at their best, but at the times they've had to be at their best defensively, they've come up with the job. And Olomouta now picks up some metres. They just keep coming at you, the Bulldogs. And if you don't take your opportunities, bet your life they will.
Kerry shows us something else that he can do. Kicking in general play and then leading the chase with Darren Smith on that right side defence. Miles taken down just outside his 20-metre line. Reuben. Gee, Steve Folkes has got a wealth of players that can play acting half, hasn't he? When you think of Jason Hetherington to come back, the best of them is not available at the moment, and he's got Perry and Polomouta. That's gone forward from Brian Fletcher. Hegarty's away, but he's been recalled.
Well, Ray, if I'm Ricky Stewart here, I just say, look, fellas, get 4 or 5 to the post and give me a shot. I'll make it a 13-point ball game, and that'll definitely put them to sleep. That play there just about sums up the Roosters' night. Way too many mistakes. It's going to cost them dearly.
On the 40.
Stone. They lost Stephen Price at the 15th minute. He hasn't been back. He succumbed to that hip injury again. Scott, Polomouta, Sherwin, Stewart, dummy on the run round. Hitting Silver up the centre. 15 out. Well, that'll be a penalty against Fletcher. He's penalised the dummy half, the marker I should say, for not remaining in front of the man playing the ball.
And there'll be another 2 points for Daryl Halligan, you'd think. He'll come in and wrap it up now. In a mixed match, Brian Fletcher's done some great things. Some of his passing's been a bit ordinary. But he's tried hard, that's for sure.
Nice set move here. Sherwin looking as though he's going to go round Stewart, and then Rod Silver up the centre of the ruck. Ankle tap by Brian Fletcher. Let's just see if Fletcher does get in front of the man. No, it's a very good decision once again from Bill Harrigan. Spot on.
Rates with his best performances, I believe, Harrigan. "20 metres out, 20 metres in for Halligan, and about 6 minutes to go now. You'd think they were safe. They'll be safer if this goes over, and he's put it over. Flags up. 26-12, the comfort zone for the blue and whites. These kids, they love their football. They, amongst other fans, have been in the spotlight a bit this week with some unruly behaviour. But these kids, they love their game, they really do. I just hope that they understand we don't need unruly behaviour at our game. We'll leave that for others. The bounce was great for the Roosters. Feeney. Britt. Oh, gee, Silver. He was away. Just couldn't get a catch on it.
Yeah, great combination over the years. Darren Britt on the inside to Rod Silver. This occasion here, Rocket would have been away too, but control that one.
Yes, Bossy.
Yeah, just as we get into the closing stages of this match, I'm sure the Roosters fans watching at home would be looking for some positives. Well, some good news for them. Shane Rigon made his comeback, his first game since having a knee reconstruction tonight in First Division, as Bill Harrigan went for the duck. But I can report some bad news. Brendan Hurst, who was to come back from suspension next week, actually had an operation on his right thumb last week. He's out for another month.
Thank you, Bossy, for that. Solomona! Ball coming away in the tackle. It's with Halligan.
Solomona might have hurt himself in that tackle too. He landed awkwardly trying to pass. And that's always a worrying sign when you see players grab their arm and their shoulder when they hit the ground after delivering a pass. His knees now as Barry Ward jolted back in the tackle.
The tackle on Solomona. And down he comes and goes straight for that left elbow.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of how Matt Burke, Wallaby fullback, hurt his shoulder last season. All cut 6 again. The rock there.
Halligan on his own 40-metre line. Crowd tonight. A couple of thousand down on last week when St George Illawarra were here. It's 14,326. 14,326. Of course, at the end of the match, we give the McDonald's $1,000 man of the match. Some outstanding performers. As Sherwin kicks, the chase is on. He couldn't clean it up. They're going over again. El Masri's over. Hazim El Majid. Well, his fan club off to the left have gone berserk. Hazim El Masri.
And the Bulldogs are back. They're back to their best, baby. Don't worry about that. Beautiful stuff from the Bulldogs, finishing it off nicely. Lovely kick. Saw the space out there. Probably should have been cleaned up. Bit of dew on the grass. Phillips slipped, and El Masri, he's had a fine match too. He cleaned it up and scored.
He's had a great game, El Masri, done nothing wrong. And Sherwin, good vision again. Execution was great, put pressure on. Phillips a little bit unfortunate. El Masri, when he's not scoring them, he's saving them.
Well, Peter, in fact, 3 players that you've just mentioned haven't had just a good night. They've had a great fortnight. Corey Hughes, Hazim El Masri, and Brent Sherwin. They have taken the form from last Friday and translated it into tonight. Those 3 players have put 2 absolute Bobby Dazzlers together. 35th try of his career for El Masri, and up they went. Hail Hazim! Hazim the king! Gee, they love him.
He's had a checkered career, hasn't he? He had a bumper season, scored a lot of tries, and the following year, which was probably, 98, I would say, played mostly reserve grade, couldn't get into the top grade. I think Leicester played on the wing for most of that season. He's back with vengeance in the last year and a bit.
Halligan, that's there. It is there. Up they go again. 32-12, the Dogs, Andrew.
I'm looking around right now. You wouldn't know this is the Roosters' home ground, would you? It's a sea of blue and white at the moment. We'll be waxing lyrical about Brent Sherwin, I think, plenty of times this year. I can tell you his nickname too is Shifty, and I think he's lived up to the nickname too over this last 15 minutes. Yet another Bulldogs try, 20-point victory, and Halligan's kick. Well, Mick Cronin, I can tell you, regards him as the best ever, and that is highest praise you can get.
Yes. No one would argue with that. Nobody would argue with Michael Cronin, period.
He wouldn't get into an argument, Ray.
Beanie, a nicer person I haven't met in the game. And not too many better footballers have I met in the game. Britt. Barry Ward. Gee, they've been good off the bench, haven't they, the Dogs? Last couple of weeks. Polomata. Talking of the bench, fancy having him in good form coming off it. And cover so many positions for you too. Stewart's kick. Perfect. There's the countdown. You can hear them in the background. Forget the scrum. Have a look at the scoreboard. 32-12. They have smashed them up in the final 20 minutes or so. But I've got to say, at half-time, giving 10-point start, I think I wanted to back the Roosters. But they never came back. They never came back to answer the Dogs, because the Dogs, every time they looked to be in danger, they found something. It led 18 to 12, and just then we thought the Roosters would grab them. But the Dogs, they got out of the kennels and they took the prize easily. Look at them. The fat man said it. They are back. They're okay. You can get off the net. You can stop abusing your idols now. They are back. How far will they go? 32 to 12. We have got the McDonald's man of the match to come with Andrew. $1,000 from McDonald's. Thank you again. Peter and Paul back in a moment to wrap it on the wide world of sport.
Little more than 50 hours after leaving New Zealand, Dick Smith and his co-pilot John Wallington were slowly descending towards the Australian coast. The locals of Iluka in northern New South Wales were delighted that fate had chosen their beach for the end of Dick's big ballooning adventure.
There's never anybody on the beach. This is absolutely fantastic. Biggest thing that's ever happened.
And it was a copybook landing, the balloon skimming the water for the gentlest of touchdowns. And then it was time to claim victory over John Singleton, who had bet $100,000 that a balloon flight across the Tasman against the prevailing wind systems couldn't be done.
We've got here, we won! We won the bet! Singo, we won the bet!
Time also for Dick to again promote his brand of Aussie-made foods.
The Americans went and took Vegemite from us, done by a cigarette company, so we're bringing out Aussie-Mite, and we've symbolically bought the first jar of Aussie-Mite back across the Tasman by balloon.
Dick Smith had only given the adventure a 50% chance of success. The most dangerous moment came when the balloon plunged 1,000 feet when it hit colder air. The balloonists may have their names in the record books, but the real winner is the Exodus Foundation.
God bless you, Dick.
And even better news for charity founder Bill Cruz. Dick promised to open his wallet even though he won the bet.
Pip and I have discussed this, and we're also going to give you $100 grand because you do such wonderful work for disadvantaged people.
We've got a school that runs with kids that will thank you forever.
Australia's cricket team is at the centre of renewed security fears on their tour of New Zealand following threats by irate Kiwi fans against players and an attack on their vehicle. After being abused in a fast food restaurant, the Australians emerged to find their tyres had been slashed. The incident followed last night's bombardment on the pitch in Dunedin when some spectators disputed an umpiring decision. New Zealand cricket officials have expressed their outrage and shame at the incidents. Australian cricket skipper Steve Waugh and team managers say security problems are wrecking the tour.
Off to Christchurch for another shot at the Kiwis. The Australians forced to take a replacement bus after the tyres on their original vehicles were slashed. The work of an irate fan who also accosted members of the Aussie team at a restaurant following yesterday's victory.
On the way home from the ground, the guys stopped in for some McDonald's and they were abused there by a number of people, and one of the guys who were abused left a message letting us know that he was the one.
Topping off a forgettable experience in Dunedin. A riotous cricket crowd stopping play for 10 minutes following Brett Lee's controversial dismissal of Adam Perore.
Ridiculous behaviour, throwing cans onto the field, but...
An injured and furious Steve Waugh critical of the inadequate security.
I mean, when a guy can run on the field, run a lap and a half and then go jump over the fence and sit down and not get touched by security, there's obviously not enough people working there.
The sale of bottles and cans contributing to the problem, which put New Zealand cricket to shame.
I'm ashamed of what happened in Dunedin and very, very disappointed by it.
To ensure there's no repeat of the trouble, New Zealand officials say security will be upgraded for the final 3 one-day matches.
I've promised the Australian players that New Zealand cricket will do all that within our power to protect them.
Rising floodwaters continue to cause big problems in 2 states. The New South Wales government tonight declaring a natural disaster area in the far west of the state. In Western Queensland, the swollen Thomson River is expected to peak overnight, but the worst may already be over for the people of Longreach. Longreach is calm tonight. Most residents have done everything they can to prepare. All that's left to do is wait.
Good. I think it's on the way down, so you've gone through the worst.
I will just stick around here and if it comes up and help everyone else.
Today there were more evacuations. When water started lapping around the Pioneers nursing home, 12 of the 70 residents were transferred to the Longreach Hospital.
Yeah, but it's just a precautionary thing to get them out of the way before, and just in case anything untoward happens.
Some residents who'd left their homes last night returned to find water splashing through the floorboards.
A lot of money to replace carpets and paint walls and everything like that, but what do you do? We've never seen it rise that quickly. I've never been, as far as being recorded, has never been in this house before.
Many landowners in outlying areas remain isolated, relying on aerial food deliveries. For graziers, the cost is high. Livestock losses are expected to be large.
A lot of people are really only living from hand to mouth as far as an income is concerned.
The floods are expected to peak tonight or tomorrow, but the Weather Bureau now doesn't believe the Thomson River will exceed 5.7 metres. That's less than the record 1974 level. Even so, locals say the water has already reached areas never touched by floods before. Flood coordination centres here in Longreach will be operating all night. While the water's now rising at a much slower rate, further evacuations may still be necessary. At the Glenbrook Rail Inquiry today, an admission from the driver of the intercity train that the disaster would not have happened if he'd followed safety guidelines. Kevin Sinnott said he was driving at 42 kilometres an hour, 20 kilometres faster than the regulations allowed.
Reliving the critical seconds before the crash was a painful experience for train driver Kevin Sinnott. He told the inquiry when he first saw the rear car carrier on the Indian Pacific, it was only 100 metres away, partially obscured by a rock bluff. He said he threw on the emergency brake and ran out of the cabin door all in one motion. As soon as I was going down the steps, I screamed at the top of my voice to hang on, and I got about 3 seats back when the collision occurred. The inquiry's lawyer, Christopher Barry, suggested to Mr. Sinnott he was travelling